Macaulay Culkin, Michael Jackson, two childhood stars. One of the most controversial friendships in pop culture history. But after years of doubts and raising eyebrows, when Macaulay finally spoke, the details that were revealed left many wondering. Stick around, because we're diving deep into the truth straight from the child star himself. No rumors, no tabloids, just raw honesty and clean details. We all know Macaulay Culkin as the iconic kid from Home Alone. And around the same time he was taking over Hollywood, Michael Jackson was at the pinnacle of his fame. The two formed a bond that raised eyebrows everywhere. Why was the biggest pop star on earth hanging out with a child actor? Some called it weird, some called it beautiful. But only one person really knew the truth: Macaulay himself. Fast forward years later. Macaulay sits down for multiple interviews, and each time, his message is clear. Michael Jackson never did anything inappropriate to him. He even testified in court defending Michael, not because he was told to, but because he wanted to.
Former child star Macaulay Culkin wrapped up his testimony in Michael Jackson's child molestation trial, and he told jurors he had never been molested by the superstar.
Actor Macaulay Culkin arrived and left the courthouse here in Santa Maria with very little fanfare. His testimony didn't last too long. In a very clear and strong voice, he told the jury Michael Jackson never touched him inappropriately. He also said, quote, "I never saw him act improper with anybody."
He's a sweet person, and I'm very happy to have him in my life. I think one of the great things about our relationship is me and him could just act like kids all the time, and that's kind of what we do.
We have to cover it, so let's ask about it. What's the relationship that you had with Michael Jackson?
Had or have? I mean, it's kind
had
of,
both.
you know, whatever.
Let's go with had to
listen,
have.
no, he's a good friend of mine, and he still is. I mean, everything that's going on, I mean, it's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate situation for everyone involved.
So, why did this friendship even exist? According to Macaulay, it was simple. They were both famous kids surrounded by pressure, fake friends, and media chaos. They understood each other in a way no one else could.
Why do you think he likes young people so much?
It's because it's the same reason why he liked me, was the fact that I didn't care who he was. That was the thing. I talked to him like he was a normal human being. And that's what, and kids do that to him, because he's not, I mean, he's Michael Jackson, the pop singer, but he's not the god of, the king of pop or anything like that. He's just, a guy who's actually very kid-like himself and wants to go out there and wants to play video games with you.
Did your parents encourage it?
They weren't against it. It wasn't like they encouraged it or like pushing me upon it. It was just kind of like I wanted to hang out with him, and they were fine with it.
Michael wasn't just a pop star to Macaulay. He was a mentor, a friend. But despite all the truth, the media ran wild with lies. And Macaulay, he hated it. The idea of exploiting this kind of stuff just to sell papers, it's disgusting.
So what do you make of what he's going through now?
Like I said, it's unfortunate, and it's a circus right now.
You think it's a bad rap?
I think so, yeah. I mean, listen, like, look what happened the first time this happened to him. If someone had done something like that to my kid, I wouldn't just settle for some money. I'd make sure the guy was in jail, and it just really goes to show. I mean, as soon as, they got the money and they ran, I mean, that's really what happened the first time. And so, I don't know, it's a little crazy, and I kind of have taken a step back from the whole thing, because it is a bit of a circus.
He stood by Michael until the very end, even naming him the godfather of his daughter. That's how deep the trust was. And what about Neverland? What happened there? That's what everyone wanted to know.
There are video games, there are animals, there are trains.
They play with all day long, and they will go watch movies.
Anything and everything you want, and it's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Here's what Macaulay said. He described it as a place of escape, not secrecy. Just two people trying to hold on to their childhood in a world that tried to steal it.
What happened at the house? That's what all these things are people are concerned
that's what's so
about.
weird,
What did happen?
Nothing happened, I mean, nothing really. I mean, we played video games, we played it as an amusement park. Well, the thing is with that whole thing is that, they go, oh, you slept in the same bedroom as him. It's like, I don't think you understand. Michael Jackson's bedroom is 2 stories. And it has like like 3 bathrooms and this and that. So when I slept in his bedroom, yeah, but you have to understand the whole scenario. And the thing is with Michael is that he's not very good at explaining himself, and he never really has been, because he's not a very social person. I mean, you're talking about someone who's been sheltered and sheltering himself also for the last like 30 years, or, you know, and so he's not very good at communicating to people and not very good at conveying what he's actually trying to say to you. And so when he says something like that, you know, people, you know, he doesn't quite understand why people react the way that they do.
Years later, Macaulay still sticks to his words. No script, no pressure, just the truth.
Age gap is probably why they question.
Yeah,
why would an
exactly.
older man? Why want to? But only you would know.
Because what I said in the very beginning is I was a peerless person. You know, I was like, yeah, like nobody else in my Catholic school even had like this much idea of what I was going through. You know, or what and like he was the kind of person who'd like, yeah, been through the exact same freaking thing and wanted to make sure that like I wasn't alone in that kind of.
Was
you know,
he fun?
He was fucking awesome. He was hilarious. He was sweet. And like, yeah, no, people didn't know how funny he fucking was.
In a world full of noise, lies, and headlines, Macaulay Culkin stood by his friend. And sometimes, that's all the truth we need. If this changed your perspective even a little, hit that like button to help it reach to the other masses. Comment your thoughts or any doubts. And subscribe for more MJ content.